Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, original, chapter number 3, text number 21, Karma Yoga. Yad yad ajarade shreshta tat evataro janaha sayat pramanam kurude logastat anuvartade. Yad yad ajarade shreshta. Shreshtas means here a great leader. Yad yad ajarade. Whatever a great leader follows, tat tat evataro janaha. That very actions will be followed by the common man. Sayat pramanam kurude. Therefore, that leader has to be an exemplary person. Sayat pramanam, exemplary. Kurude, do. He must do the exemplary activities. Logastat anuvartade. If he does that, the whole world will follow him. In our experience, we can actually see the children follow mother and father. Not only they are the parents to their children, they are also leaders. There are chief ministers, and there is a prime minister, a president. They are all in the pristine position, but their actions are viewed by the common man, and the common man follow them. Of course, without being sufficiently qualified, they shouldn't be imitating. They can follow them, provided that he elevates our consciousness from the wretched state of life. These leaders, if they do not follow and they just stick around with their family and society and do all these kinds of irrelevant, unethical, immoral, sinful activities on account of making some money, they are also leading the common man to the same path. So therefore, they have to be, before entering into the leadership, they should be sufficiently educated in the injunction of the Shastra. Shastra means is a universal manual. Just like when you buy certain devices online, once the shipment is delivered, you can open that box. In America, more often I have seen when we buy a big machine like printer or dishwashing machine or washing machine, when we open the box, immediately there is a manual. It would say, stop. We used to think, why these guys are stopping us? Then they say, read the manual before you are operating. So Shastra is like that. Before you start living your human life, because Shastra is not given to any animals. They are running after in their four legs for getting some food. And they may steal, they may be delivered by the householders, and they go and actually sleep somewhere after they eat. So that is their life. We cannot educate them. with the Shastric knowledge, Bhagavad Gita knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam knowledge. But before we lead, after our maturity, we should start inquiring about the truth of our own life, where I have come from, what I am doing here. Ke ami? Who am I? Why I am suffering the threefold miseries? Threefold miseries are the miseries coming from our mind and body, and some relatives or neighbors or some other living beings like snakes, scorpions and mosquitoes, tigers, lions disturbing us, or Shatru, enemies. And finally the material natures make us suffer by supplying excessive heat, excessive cold, tsunami, cyclone, earthquake, etc., etc. So why I am suffering? If I do not know this, iha nahi jani, how would I actually benefit? Kemane hidahaya. This is the question forwarded by a defense minister to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In ordinary dealings, people takes me, I am a great scholar. What kind of scholar I am? I do not even know the origin of my life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered him, Jivere Swarubhai Krishnere Nityadas. The constitutional position of all living beings, that they are eternally servant of Krishna. Krishnere Tadastha Shakti Veda Abeda Pragasha, and they are the marginal energy of Krishna. Lord Krishna has three energies. One is the spiritual energy, consists of all spiritual energies and spiritual world and spiritual personalities. Second is external world, Bahiranga Shakti, with all these jivas with material body. They live in the external world. These liberated souls live in the spiritual world, in spiritual body. But we live in the material world with the material body, which is temporary. That is not temporary. The world is not temporary, and the bodies are also not temporary. So, that is the spiritual world, Andaranga Shakti. This is the material world, Bahiranga Shakti. And there is a Tadastha Shakti. That Tadastha Shakti is we, Jivatmas. We can live either in this material world or in the spiritual world. In order to live in this world, we have to change bodies. But once we go there, then there is no need for changing the bodies. But we are eternal. Therefore, this sense of death doesn't bother us for a certain time. Constitutional position of the living entity is to remain eternal as a servant of God. That subconscious state is already there. But we are artificially trying to become eternal while living in this material body, which is not possible. There are so many leaders, religious leaders, they do not speak about death. They speak only about living. Many such religious leaders speak big, big things. But when we ask them, Sir, what do you talk about the death? Which is so common, and we are seeing every second millions are dying. And what is the solution for that? Okay, you live a comfortable life. We are not envious about it. But what is the step you are taking to prevent your death, which is approaching you silently, and it is explode any time, just like you are flying in an airplane. But the pilot says, sir, there is only a problem. There is a time bomb fit somewhere in the aircraft. What the owner would try to do? Immediately command the pilot, you take a U-turn, call the call center and speak to them, we are landing, and speak to them, we are returning and landing, please give us the clearance immediately before the bomb explodes and kills us. That is our situation. We have a beautiful body, but the problem is there is a time bomb, and it can explode any time without letting you know. That is called death. These foolish leaders, especially the spiritual leaders, do not communicate with their followers or disciples. They try to do different kinds of postures and yogas and dhyanas and this, but they do not know who they are actually meditating on and for what they are actually meditating on. Just for a triangle mind, serene existence, or after this so-called meditation, go and enjoy the body. So therefore, their knowledge is so incomplete, they cannot lead the world. Therefore, we need to know, who am I? As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you are part of Lord Sri Krishna. If the finger is part of the body or the hand is part of the body, what is the prime duty of the hand? To serve the body. Therefore, if we are servant of the Supreme Lord, what should be our duty? To serve the Supreme Lord. For that purpose, we need a leader who could actually lead us to obtain that lost position far before millions and billions and trillions and zillions of lifetimes have passed. But we have no idea. We are still in the material world, going from one corner to the another corner. Right? They are exploring, they are researching, and in the end, they discovered America. Now in the globe, there is no land where they could actually go and put their flag. Therefore, they started shooting upwards to the moon, to the Mars, because there is no more things to do on the earth planet. Whatever earth planet provided, we all lived with that. Enjoy. Now let us create some colonies in moon and Mars, which is an impossible task. Our foolish Indian leaders also wasting their crores and crores of rupees collected from your taxes, GST, in the name of moon excursion. They want to be the top in the world, imitating Russia, America, and wasting the money. Just like going to the casino and gambling your money is gone. All this money will be gone. Waste of rocket, waste of everything. This is the leadership. We are not talking about these kinds of leadership, yada yada ajarade sreshta, misguiding the people. Having born in this part of the world, Bharata Bhumi de Manushya Janma Hoilaja, Janma Sartaka Kari Paropakara. Having born on this part of the world, what should be our prime duty? Bharata Bhumi de Manushya Janma Hoilaja. Only Manushas can actually do something. First, to perfect ourselves by cultivating divine instruction from scriptures, perfect ourselves, sufficient ourselves in knowledge and devotion. Janma karokari paropakara. Use that word for saving others, paropakara, not these dry social services. When we do some service to the people, they should feel that we got life. At present, we feel desolated. We feel so much vacuum, emptiness. Why? Because the main essence of our life we have forgotten. Just because of these uneducated leaders who do not enlighten people with true transcendental knowledge. This part of the world does not seek for God anywhere, not the other side of the oceans is there here itself. And that Supreme Lord has to be experienced, read, comprehended through the Vedic knowledge, which always celebrate the existence of God and the jivas and the relation between them. That is the real leader. Atmanam sarvado rakshe. First and primary duty of every living being in this world to protect one's own soul. Atmanam sarvado rakshe. Tado dharmam, tado dhanam. And it has to be done through dharma. Then your dhanam comes. If you minimize the dharmic activities, there is no other foolish person than us. Just going for the dhanam without following the dharma is not going to happen that easily. So therefore, we are in our status quo when we rest our personality unto the lotus feet of the Lord. He is our master, He is our friend, He is our child, and He is our lover. And that kind of relationship always remains eternal. In this world, wherever and whatever we try to do by following these leaders, we will be cast only to the repeated birth and death. Sometimes human body, sometimes a dog's body, sometimes cat's body, sometimes cow's body, sometimes tree's body, sometimes fish body. keep changing the bodies. And when we get into this human form of life, we become so romantic with our wife and children, husband, imitating the celebrities. Just wake up. Stop your such activities which is excessively done. So let us realize our constitutional position and follow the spiritual leaders, 12 Mahajans. When you follow them, we will have a serene and stunning life. So there is the beauty. Follow the Supreme Lord. He followed all the religious principles perfectly. Lord Ramachandra followed. For a civilized human being, it is required to follow all the parts of the dharmic principles, not just to go behind the mortal things. So therefore, you need to choose who should be leading you. Follow the Shastra. Let Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these Mahajans lead us. Then our life will be homey. Because wherever we travel, we want to have a homey atmosphere. And that atmosphere had been taken from us. So when we come back to our original spiritual consciousness, that is our real life. So that is what here, yada yada ajarade shrestha. Whenever a great man says something, do something, the common men follow. Therefore, that great man do only the exemplary activities, so that the common man do not fall into the ditch. If one is smoking cigarette and asking others not to smoke cigarette, is not a good leader. Hypocrisy, right? It's difficult to follow the honest path in this age of Kali Yuga, but keep Krishna with you. Everything will be visually attractive by following the footstep of the Supreme Lord. Anyway, we will continue. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.